Alright, welcome back to another episode of the No Summoning Challenge. In this episode, we tackle the Igris boss event, finally roll a better trait on Dante, and evolve the 2% Yhwach. Let's get into it.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I'll try it your way for once. Remember what we used to say? Jackpot.
Okay, so I'm a little bit sick, but we're going to excuse that for the moment. We're about to migrate into the 5.5 update. As you saw, I grinded enough helmets to evolve Igris, and I grinded the boss rush, but unfortunately, he's cycling out, and I am going to be playing on my main account way too much to keep grinding it for the weekend. So, no Igris this episode, but as you can see, we have Yhwach here, and once we try all the new stuff out, we're going to go ahead and evolve him, and that'll be the video. Just kidding. We're gonna go into the new Worldlines and we're gonna see how far we can get this time. Hopefully we can get a little further than floor 6, but I don't really have my hopes up. Okay, I'll see everybody in the new update. Alright, here we are in the new update. I've already played this quite a lot on my main account, seeing as how it is now Sunday of the week after the update. In this update, we have John Smith, Delta, and Katakuri, as well as a new raid, some reworks, and the new Worldlines season, as well as just a bunch of other really good stuff. I gotta admit, there's nothing here that we can really tackle at the moment, but there is something I want to look at. As you saw, we got all Z, extremely luckily, on Lag Shooter. But what you didn't see is that we also got a Z Z on Yhwach. My dilemma at first was, should I just evolve Yhwach and never use him, give his Z pluses to Dante, who I'm definitely going to use, or just keep Yhwach with all Z plus and just work on Dante with someone else. I was hoping to get another Yhwach so I could transfer all of Lag Shooter's stats to that one, but I don't really want to rely on that, and I think for the sake of the video, I'm going to get Yhwach to all Z plus. So let me give his Z to Dante, and yeah, let's get right on that. For the sake of the video, let's go ahead and spend these rerolls. The only other unit we're going to be rolling on is Virgil, and it's quite a ways away before we get that, so here goes nothing. That is so funny because I have Deadeye on my Yhwach on my main account. Unfortunately, I do not think this is going to be very helpful, like, at all, so... Okay, I think I'm going to keep this for now. If we can get this guy to be really low cost, he might be useful in certain situations. Yeah, sure, we'll stick with Yhwach, whatever. I've been waiting a bit to do this, but we can claim these extra rewards in the battle pass. It's nothing that we can really use, but you know, it helps. Before I tackle Worldlines, I want to see if we can clear the Sukuna boss event. That'll give us some few more rerolls, and I will use those for Yhwach, just for the video. Yeah, it's about 8 clears. That shouldn't take too long. Yeah, we'll be right back.
It's the biggest.
3
えの王に送る手向けの金だ。
Sorry that this was shorter than the first episode. There wasn't a lot for us to do this time around, and I could have filled it up with more boss event. However, it's kind of RNG, at least for me, and I really don't want to do that before getting this video out, so I think I'm gonna record that for the next episode. I know I made the Yhwach trade a little bit dramatic. You gotta put a little flair on everything, okay? It's gotta look good. Let's go ahead and claim these stat chips. That's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this video. I gotta admit, I did give the Sid raid a try off camera, and it's not entirely impossible, so I might give that a shot. As you saw, we narrowly beat floor 16 of Worldlines, but I do think that we can make the rest of the floors work. We're not going all the way to 50, I don't think, but I will include some Worldlines in the next episode. And we're gonna save our rerolls for Virgil, actually. A Monarch Virgil would go absolutely insane and definitely allow us to solo a lot more things. But that's gonna wrap it up for today. Remember to like the video and subscribe to be notified of future uploads. These will be coming every Sunday, hopefully. I will post in the community tab if that is not the case. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week.